Hello everyone, and welcome to a video that not only do Ryan and I look forward to every single year slash season, but I know you guys do as well. Now do not fret, this is not a video that is only me, but I did just want to pop in here and give you guys a little intro before we actually go to Mall of America. So today we are doing what we call Mall of America Trend R&D, which means we're going to research and develop our knowledge in the fall 2025 trends for this upcoming season at the mall. We're going to go to all kinds of different stores and see if they actually are carrying the trends we talked about last week in the trend report. So let me just kind of quick give a really fast refresher on some of the biggest trends that we saw. As for accessories and stuff, we saw a lot of simple and minimal belts, while we saw maximal jewelry and accessories. When it comes to handbags, there were a lot of keychains. Some people were tying scarves on their bags, and a lot of different fun, funky shapes and such were added to handbags. Speaking of bags though, half moon bags are still really in, but east-west, longer kind of barrel style bags were in. Medicine bags, bags with buckle detailing were kind of all over the place, and a lot of bags were in suede. Some had fringe detailing, and a lot of them were brown or black. So it was a very minimal accessory trend season. Shoe-wise, we were still seeing ballet flats and Mary Jane ballet flats, but we were also seeing slip-on mules that were very flat. Slimmer sneakers are totally back in now, so just think a fitted kind of leather sneaker, back from the early 2000s. Riding boots are back, and cowboy style boots are really in right now, but also sock boots had kind of a moment. Not the fabric nylon kind of stretchy jersey sock boot, but leather kind of fitted sock boots, and also boat shoes. There's a lot of different shoe trends, but I feel like a lot of them are pretty specific. Of course it's fall, so there were a lot of different jean trends, though they were kind of things you'd expect. So dark denim is really in right now, straight leg and wide leg for the most part, but also barrel leg is still absolutely here and kind of dominating the denim scene. Speaking of denim also crossed over into skirts. So denim pencil skirts of the midi to maxi length are really in. Honestly, a lot of pencil style skirts are in right now at a midi maxi length. A lot of them are made of satin. Some of them are kind of intimate inspired with some lace detailing. Kind of going with that, intimate and lace detailed dresses are really in, specifically in black. The slip dresses though can be really any kind of neutral color. We were definitely seeing black most frequently. Of course it's fall, so there were some knitwear trends too. Fitted, more preppy Y2K sweaters with a lot of little buttons going down them were in, and polo neck sweaters are really in. Sweaters and jackets with a circle or round neck to them, think very feminine suiting, is very popular right now too. But also around the neckline, we were seeing a lot of cowl or bunched necks. This was more specifically to blouses and tops, but it did apply to some dresses here and there, and every once in a while to a vest, which also vests, the fitted button vests with a round neck, are still in. Suede blazers and suede jackets are really popular. That can be kind of any length or any kind. Blazers, trench coats, pea coats, whatever you desire. It's just suede is really popular. Floor length trench coats in specific were kind of all over the place, and brown, when it came to coats, was really popular, specifically brown wool coats. Barn jackets and barn coats, workman's coats, field jackets, whatever you want to call it, those are super popular still. They were definitely more popular last fall, but they are still here. And last but not least, for jackets and coats, a funnel or mock neck style was all over the place when we were doing our trend research, so I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of that. So that's kind of a really quick refresher on the trends. I just wanted to refresh you guys quick, just in case you for some reason didn't catch the trend report yet, or you just don't really remember it that well. Those are the things that we're expecting to see when we go to the mall. Once Ryan gets home, we are going to go to Mall of America. We're going to start off with a little happy hour because this is going to be our date night, and then we are also maybe going to go on one ride ride at Nickelodeon Universe, but I promise then we'll focus and we'll start looking at the stores. But since it's fall, I cannot promise that we won't buy anything because it is really hard for me to not purchase fall trends. I just love when we get fresh new fall items and new fall styles. It is by far my favorite time of the year, and I know Ryan really likes a good sweater, a good rugby shirt, a good pair of jeans. So we'll see. No promises. Not that you guys really care, but no promises that we won't go home with a thing or two. Once he gets home, we're gonna head to the mall. Cheers to fall, y'all. We started off with our Crave happy hour. This place is so good, and if you catch them on happy hour, they have actually really good deals. Here's a look at the outfits that Ryan and I wore. We tried to dress quite fall. So these are some frame jeans I recently found at Goodwill. They are so cute. And of course, I had to have a leather jacket. Ryan had cuff jeans, Gucci loafers, a green Popeye sweater, and a button-up shirt under it. I promise this is the last kind of personal part to this trip, but we decided to go on Ghost Blasters in Nickelodeon Universe really quick before we started to look for the trends. It just felt very fitting, and I honestly didn't know this ride still was at the mall. This has been here since I was a kid. I remember watching this TV screen waiting in line with this mad scientist. This is like my favorite ride in this entire park. I am obsessed. This was quite a drive down nostalgia lane. I got it. Anyways, on to Anthropologie first to check what trends they are carrying. Ryan actually bought the sweatshirt last time he was at the mall with the Frenchie on it. So cute.
First up at Anthro, one of my favorite stores at the mall, they have these really cute dark wash wide leg jeans. These have these really cute little like smock pockets on them, which are very trendy. A lot of other dark wash options that also matched the jeans that I have on. They also had so many fun little bag charms. Bag charms, as we know, are so stickin' popular, and the duck one I thought was adorable. They also had this really nice like country, very minimal, very like cabin vibe, stripes. I was absolutely obsessed with this little mallard beaded tote bag. I thought it matched my sweater. Anthro also had a lot of the vests that we were talking about. They had a ton of these like vest wide leg jean combinations, which you will see a lot of throughout this little video. They had so many cute little woodsy inspired bag charms. I would be interested to know if these are different based off of like where you live, because obviously Minnesota, ducks, boots, whatever. They also had a ton of these really pretty silk scarves. These were like necklaces. You could wear them as a belt. I loved this really quirky little novelty necklace that had the dogs on it. So many fun accessories.
Right away, walking into Anthro, I saw quite a few trends on the mannequins, like these wide leg jeans and this button vest, kind of in a fitted style. They also had some patch pocket pants. This pumpkin spice latte sweatshirt wasn't necessarily trendy, but it was so cute, and they had this really cute fall embroidered button shirt. This hanger had a circle neck jacket along with a very minimal belt, which is quite trendy this fall. We also spotted quite a few suede or faux suede bags. This one was more in that medicine style. It also had the buckle detail that's so trendy this fall, and it was brown, so it kind of checked every trendy handbag box. This was another trendy one, again that buckle detail, but this was more of the east-west shoulder bag style, but it was suede again and brown. And this belt was trendy and so freaking cute. It is a wishbone buckle belt. I was kind of tempted to get this. Though Zara isn't either of our favorite stores, of course they do carry all the trends, and they had barrel jeans and the cowl neck blouse style right in the window.
Zara was not disappointing with the bags. They had so many different varieties of east-west bags. They also had some really cute little mini bags. These kind of give like a Coach Rogue vibe, and then they also kind of give like Tory Burch Chloe energy. The Mary Janes were also very prevalent at Zara. I feel like they were also the last time we were here where they made a Mary Jane in every single style, every single color. They really highlighted the slip dress Y2K details. I loved the brown, very trendy color. Tons of lace inserts, a little Miu Miu dupe, if you will. I did a terrible job of showing that this is a pair of barrel leg jeans, but the prices, $70 for a pair of Zara jeans. I forget every time I come in here how expensive this place is. This was one of the only times that I saw boat shoes. These definitely give your dad Sperry's that live in the garage, which I think is crazy. It's always really interesting to me that a lot of the Zara bags are either like direct designer copies or they look vintage inspired. These East-West little moto bags definitely had that vibe to them. Trench coats, obviously you cannot have a fall without a trench coat. Zara also had a plethora of different vest options for all of my vest girlies. They had a ton of blue stripes, they had black, they had minimal, they had Y2K inspired. This was just confusing, honestly. I think if you were to Google quintessential 2025-2026 trendy bag, it would be this one, a little black smooth leather East-West mini bag, another Miu Miu look-alike. They had even more vests. The brown one was actually kind of cute though.
The first trend I spotted in Zara was the polo neck sweater trend. But quickly I spotted more, like this lace accent dress. Again, the black lace in particular is really trendy this fall, so this is another item that was very, very on trend. Like we said in the trend report, polka dots were kind of in a lot of places this fall, so definitely be on the lookout for those. And of course, right by this was a sweater vest too. And under them were some Mary Jane ballet flats, so a lot of the trends are right here in one place. Zara had a lot of the powder blue color and black, which have both been very trendy so far going into fall. They had a lot of shoulder bags that were the East-West kind of style and a lot of items with the cowl neck neckline.
Okay, everybody, here we go. This is something that I have rarely ever done, admired a Michael Kors bag, but they actually had these really beautiful East-West bags. The suede was really cute. This one has a bag charm on it. You gotta love that old MK print. Kate Spade was definitely also rocking it out in the bag trend area. Had these little crescent bags, these little half moon bags. They had a ton of the bag charms. All the trends, all the things.
Up next, we headed towards Madewell, and they had some fringe suede jackets on their models, along with some dark wash straight jeans.
I think one of the trends that I definitely saw the most were these little suede East-West bags. This one's at Madewell. Madewell definitely knows how to make a leather bag. This suede felt beautiful, and the style was really cute, really timeless. Madewell also was very hopping on the accessories trend. This was one of these silk little scarves. They did also have some beautiful brown suede jackets, and then here are some really adorable little whimsical, charmy necklaces. I loved the little hand holding the ring. Now I'm really inspired to find a piece of jewelry that looks like this. I also really loved these like little delicate kind of charm necklaces. The vests and the jean skirts and the East-West bags. Madewell was really kind of knocking her out of the park. Dark wash denim, high-waisted barrel legs, more suede bags, all the Mary Janes, Jack, vests, and skirts. I think Madewell was able to hit a lot of the really solid fall trends this year because there's nothing that's really that super ostentatious. It's all very classic minimal pieces made out of really good quality obtainable materials, styles that aren't necessarily really crazy out there, like anybody can pull off a vest and a skirt. Madewell also had these really nice, very simple, understated bag charms. I feel like it kind of goes along with their bag aesthetic. They had every single suede bag in all these beautiful colors and all these beautiful shapes that you could imagine. And we had crescents, we had shoulder bags, we had tote bags, we had all of them. All of them.
The first things you see right when you walk into Madewell are some utility workman's jackets, barn coats, whatever you want to call it. One of them is a suede jacket, which is really trendy, and one was kind of the classic green with a brown collar. Here's another look at that. They also, of course, had wide leg jeans up in the front, plus some polka dots. It's very up Madewell's alley to have polka dots, so I'm not surprised to see them here. These skirts, though, were satin pencil skirts of more of a midi or shin length, which is also very trendy. I found these really dark wash barrel leg jeans in the back by some ballet flats and some suede bags. Here is a closer look at the ballet flats that Madewell has. They had suede, they had smooth leather, and they had quite a few different kinds. One of the most common styles of jeans to see in their store were the darted barrel legs. And definitely the most common shoe was any and all forms of ballet flats, whether they're Mary Jane or not, but they did have the slip-on flat mules too, actually in a Mary Jane style, and the sort of leather sock boot style. Next store on the list, Free People.
This is what I was expecting when I came into Free People, is the heavy Y2K influence, especially with all of these little slip skirts. These are very dainty. They also kind of give vintage inspired to me. I love all the Y2K influences. Obviously, that's kind of my bread and butter.
Free People had these ribbed tops with a trillion little buttons on it. Like we said in the trend report, this is something that was so not trendy a couple years back, but is totally back in. They also had some pencil denim skirts of a maxi length, which is not surprising to see this fall. And of course, this mannequin was also holding a suede east-west shoulder bag with a keychain dongle on it. Here was the wall of barrel leg jeans as well. Free People really had a lot of the trends right in your face in the store. I was trying to read what was on this, and I think it maybe said Free People, but also there was a W. Maybe it said We the Free. I don't really know. I loved the wide jeans on this mannequin, and it also had a pretty simple buckle belt. They were heavily advertising ultra wide leg jeans, which also are a jean style we saw a lot of. Plus, they had the cowl neck tops that we were seeing. And here's the one that I feel like started it all, the Good Luck barrel jean. I feel like this is the jean that really threw barrel leg into popularity. Up next, we headed to Aritzia, and the only trend I saw in the windows were some mannequins wearing the color brown.
Aritzia had a ton of the more like preppy, very casual slip skirts as well, but also these like little button cardigans. Because they do a lot of suiting, Aritzia obviously had the hookup for the vests. And rugby polos, which is definitely one of my top trending things of the fall. And I loved the green one that you're about to see. A shirt very similar to this is now on my thrift bucket list, because I think I need one for this fall.
As Ryan said, the smaller fitted vests were aplenty in Aritzia. Plus, they did have some trench coats. I don't necessarily know if these were the floor length ones like we talked about in the trend report, but either way, trench coats are always in for fall. Then we saw some of the barn jackets. So even Aritzia had these under their TNA line, and they had some of the preppier small button cardigans. They had a couple colors of the barn coats. They also had this faux leather jacket that had the mock neck style that we saw many times while researching. They had satin pencil skirts too, which were really trendy. They had a lot of different colors, and of course we saw black, which was kind of one of the main trendy colors this fall. Again, a mock neck on this sweatshirt jacket. Our next stop was Urban Outfitters.
Urban Outfitters is definitely a haven for the Y2K things. This is where all the girlies get their little Y2K goodies. The slip skirts were in plethora. They were also very expensive. There is no way in heck I would ever pay $70 for a slip skirt. Also, every single one of the little Y2K bags and the tapestries with the bows and all the trends.
One of the mannequins in Urban Outfitters actually had barrel leg sweatpants, which was new to me. They also, of course, were pairing them with some slim sneakers, and she was carrying a half moon bag with a lot of keychains. Here was a faux suede jacket that had some fringe detailing to it, and of course, they did have some polka dot satin pencil skirts too. Ryan and I had kind of a weird moment in this section with these mannequins. All of these mannequins are dressed exactly like girls that we went to middle school and high school with. This girl literally has an owl keychain. It was just a weird moment to see all of these trends come back around. And for our final stop, we of course went to Nordstrom.
This is the first time that we are seeing these thin sneakers, like the Nike Cortez is a really popular one. The Onitsuka Tiger is another really popular one. They had a ton of the clogs as well, all of these being Birkenstock. Miu Miu, Nordstrom, the ballet flat that started it all, the Miu Miu ballet flat, and she is $1,100. But a timeless piece nonetheless. And dare I say it, but some of the other shoes on this table are definitely very boat shoe inspired. Again, the brown suede is a really trendy color, this little moccasin. These are some really, really, really adorable little Christian Louboutin ballet flats. The ballet flats, as we know, extremely popular, as we just saw from Miss Miu Miu. $7.45, I didn't think was that bad. And I thought this was actually a really cute little timeless shoe. And you gotta love a stroll through the bag department at Nordstrom. These beautiful Chloe bags are very Y2K inspired to me, I feel like, but the East-West is always super trendy. This was a beautiful brown suede Tod's bag. I really love the understatedness of this. Moving up a floor at Nordstrom, all of the beautiful lace details, all of the beautiful blues, all of these Zimmermann pieces were very, very, very on trend. They had these really, really, really stunning, almost Y2K, a little bit bohemian inspired stuff. This Stella McCartney slip dress with the doves on it, very Prince, very amazing.
The Chanel shoe section, of course, had ballet flats. I mean, they are known for that, but a lot of them had Mary Jane straps to them. They did have some flat mules though too, and Prada also had some of the flat slide mules. Prada also had some Mary Jane ballet flats and more colorways of their flat slip-on mules. Golden Goose had some Western cowboy boots, which are also a smaller trend this season. There were also riding boots in the Gucci section, which is another trend. They also had some leather sock boots. Of course, Gucci had some slip-on mules and ballet flats too. Some of those were Mary Jane style. Vince had a lot of the slimmer leather sneakers. One of them was even a mule style, and they had some Western cowboy boots. Plus, they had ballet flats, some of those being Mary Jane, so Vince really had all of the shoe trends. Veronica Beard had some Mary Jane ballet flats, and again, they had some of the slimmer sneakers. As for handbags, Christian Louboutin was out in the front with some East-West shoulder bags. Some of those being suede. They had quite a few different shapes and sizes of suede bags and some fringe detailing. Plus, Givenchy had a lot of smaller East-West bags. Balenciaga had a lot of the buckle detailing. Most of these looked inspired by Birkins and Kellys, which I think is kind of what the trend is for this season. Prada in their display window had some East-West bags as well. These gave very medicine style bags. In the Stella McCartney section, I was obsessed with how these wide jeans had these buttons all the way up and down the sides. I thought that was so cool. This group of mannequins were all dressed in brown and camel, which is very trendy this season. And this Zimmermann mannequin had some black lace detailing, which is also very trendy this season. In a special display case, they had yet another Balenciaga bag that of course had a buckle-like detail to it. It was the medicine style, and it had a bunch of keychains, even a croissant. Here in St. John, they had some round neck jackets. Those are super in right now. And I wasn't about to go into the Chanel boutique, but they did have some wide leg jeans on display. Okay everyone, we are home from the mall now and it is a couple days later, and I just thought really quick before just dropping off on you guys, we would kind of briefly discuss the trends that I do feel like we saw a lot, and then the trends that we maybe didn't see as much as I honestly thought we would. We were still seeing so many ballet flats and Mary Jane ballet flats. I feel like basically all the shoe trends were present. I think we saw a fair amount of all of them. Maybe the boat shoes are the only shoe that we didn't see a ton of, though we did see a couple pairs, like Miu Miu add a pair of boat shoes. Handbag wise, I think everything was really accurate. We saw a lot of suede, we saw a lot of brown and black, we saw some fringe detailing here and there, a lot of bags had keychains on them, half moon bags, east-west bags, medicine bags, belt details. We literally saw everything all over the place, basically in all the stores. All of the kind of lacy, intimate style items, I also feel like we saw. We saw the skirts with the lace details, we saw the dresses with the lace details. I think we were really accurate with denim too. We saw a lot of darker denim, straight leg, wide leg, and definitely a lot of barrel leg still. Pencil skirts, midi to maxi length, those were all over the place. A lot of polka dots on those skirts or on blouses. The blouses with the cowl necks were everywhere too. I think for the accessories we saw a lot. We saw a lot of keychains. We saw a lot of like printed scarves as accessory detailing. A lot of the keychains and accessories were very like maximal, whereas a lot of the belts, as we said, were very minimal. And then for jackets, I do feel like once again we saw a lot of what we talked about. We saw the more fitted vests, suede jackets, again in brown or black coloring, many of the barn coats or barn jackets. I don't know if we as much saw the floor length trench coats. We actually only really saw trench coats at Aritzia, but I think a lot of people that buy trench coats I feel like would just buy a vintage one because there's so many of them out there, but maybe that's just like not as huge of a trend as some of these other ones. And I was really surprised that we didn't see as many of the funnel mock neck jackets as I expected, because when we were doing our research for the trend report, those were everywhere. Bloggers, runways, there were articles that did like top 5, top 10 trends of fall 2025, and those were all over those lists. I don't know if we weren't looking close enough at the necklines or something. I did see a lot of the circle necklines, but I just felt like we were going to see a lot more of the funnel style. But then I feel like for prints and colors and stuff, we were pretty spot on too. The kind of dusty baby blue, the black items, brown, polka dots, the kind of checkered prints, I feel like those were all over the place. So honestly, I would say like we saw a lot of like 95 to 98% of the trends. There were just a few here and there that were a little trickier to spot, but we may have just missed them, or maybe they're just not as trendy as some people have predicted them to be. But hopefully this R&D video has kind of hammered in even more the trends that you should be looking out for fall 2025 for your reselling business. We had so much fun filming this video. This is like one of my favorites in the entire year. It's just so fun to spend an afternoon at Mall of America with Ryan and to look for all of the fall items, whether we find the trends or don't. I just love being around fall fashion and fall clothing, so I hope you guys did as well. And let me know, as per usual, what you guys thought of this video. Do you want us to keep doing these R&Ds after we do the trend reports? What do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What are the trends you really like? What are the ones you don't like as much? Let us know, and we will see you guys on Sunday for a regular What Sold Sunday, and then we'll see you next week for some more clothing, some more thrifting, some more all that good stuff. So I will see you guys when you choose to see us next. Goodbye.